Hello. This is the very first podcast episode I am filming in my new apartment. I feel so lucky to be here and so lucky to have had the opportunity to even apply for this apartment. The stress of moving has slightly gloomed out my excitement a little bit. I know once all this transition period is over with, it's going to feel so amazing. With my budget constraints in the neighborhood that I wanted to live in, I think everyone doubted my ability to find an apartment, and I don't blame them. I was having the hardest time applying for other apartments, and I was looking in other neighborhoods deeper into Brooklyn, and then this sort of fell into my lap. As a last-ditch effort before finding new roommates, I posted on my Instagram story that if anyone had a sublet or a lease takeover in these neighborhoods to please let me know, and one of my followers knew someone who did, so that is how I got this apartment. Can't say social media never gave me something, because that is just so amazing. I have such an undiluted, intense belief in myself that 100% comes off as delusion, but hey, it works for me. Is it delusional if my dreams come true? Maybe I'm just so in line with my spiritual path that things just work out for me. Now, more than ever, I feel in line with who I'm supposed to be and my life path, so it just feels so super amazing. Now, before I dive into what I wanted to talk about this episode, an hour ago, I found out that my sister's water broke, so she will be having a baby sometime this weekend. I am so excited to have a niece. I'm so excited to meet the baby, so I booked my travel up to go see her in the hospital this weekend. She has come over a week early, so definitely wasn't expecting this on top of everything that's going on in my apartment. But if I seem a little distant and distracted, that is just one of the things that is going on. Mentally, I'm feeling a little bit absent and not myself with so much that's been going on, but I drafted what I wanted to talk about this episode, and I don't have to show up perfect every time. That is one of the limiting mindsets I have, is that I have to be perfect and like in my tip-top shape, but sometimes showing up is enough. So me recording this podcast episode is enough practice of that. Okay, let's talk about what has been going on in the past week and give you a little update on moving. For my audio listeners, if you can't tell what's going on, I am in a half-painted bedroom. My bed is in the middle of the room. Unfortunately, they couldn't paint before I moved in, so painters have been here for the past 2 days, and they're like fixing leaks in the ceiling and just they're doing it all. So I'm feeling pretty unsettled. I haven't really been able to unpack any of my boxes because my super instructed me to leave everything in the center of the room to make it easier to paint and fix it up. Also, I realize what I'm about to talk about and complain about is such a first world problem. I have my own apartment. I should really feel grateful, but there's definitely been some unexpected stressors that have made this a little rockier than I was expecting. If you don't want to hear me complain about the moving in process and all these things going wrong, maybe skip forward a few minutes. The moving process itself went as well as could be expected. I was super prepared, and the movers were very nice and quick. The problems really began the next day when I had some furniture delivery set up and the couch couldn't fit through the doorway. In retrospect, I should have ensured that the couch could be taken apart. I previously measured to ensure that the couch would fit in the room, which it would with room to spare, but the couch couldn't be taken apart, so there was no way to get it in the room. So that was a bit of a bummer, and I had to send it back with the delivery people. Had to coordinate a refund and all those fun things. And then that same day, the sink wasn't draining at all from the dinner I cooked the night before. None of the water had gone down. I got Drano, I tried that didn't work. And with the couch thing happening and all these things happening, I felt very frustrated and was a bit short-sighted. So I just paid for a plumber off TaskRabbit to come and fix it. My super can be slow to respond, and I was just like, I need this done. I need to use my sink. I'm just gonna do this. Comes, he does the work, he fixes it, thank God. And he shows me some pipes that need replacing. So I send a picture to my super and I say, hey, the sink wasn't draining. I hired a plumber. And he said XYZ needs fixing. Oh, mistakes were made, my friend. So my super calls me and he's like, that was a big no-no. You do not hire plumbers. You do not have other people come and touch the sinks or like anything in the apartment. He was pretty stern with me, which fair enough. I was just in a very sensitive state and I wasn't thinking. I just thought I was solving the problem. And I think even he knew he was being a bit of a hard ass. He was like, I'm sorry to have to talk to you like this, but like this you can't do. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. It's a really odd feeling to be reprimanded as an adult. Like I can't remember the last time someone has like, that was bad to me. So after that call and just having a good multitude of things go wrong that day, I hung up and I just sort of burst into tears. And I don't cry. I have a hard time showing emotion. I'm a pretty like level-headed person, but I think everything just sort of weighted on me a little bit. And this is my first time truly living alone, handling everything on my own. And usually I am the person to handle things. So I've always felt capable, but like I think the weight of just being completely alone really set in, and everything is up to me, and any mistakes I make also completely on me. So it was just a lot of emotions to process with. And your girl has CPTSD. She is definitely neurodivergent, somewhere on that spectrum. So handling this amount of change is tough for a neurotypical person, but especially people who are on the spectrum. So after that, I just had to take a depression nap and sort of get away from the emotions for a second because it was just so all-consuming. After the come down of that very stressful day, now let's introduce another. Why not? So a few days later, painters were set to come. Turns out this is a much bigger project than I was expecting. I thought they would be in here for a day just to like paint the walls. Oh no. So they're tearing apart the ceiling a little bit, painting all the trims, all the walls in every single room, which is great and needs to be done, but really should have been done before I moved in, but they couldn't be scheduled for then, so this is what we're working with. But obviously I work from home, everything is like based out of my apartment, so I have to be gone all day for days. It's just very stressful. But after the first day of them painting, the door didn't open the same way it used to. And so I was like, hey, did you do the deadbolt? And they were like, no, you just have to like pull and push. And the guy shows me and he does it very easily. So I was like, okay. A few hours later, I go to get my packages from downstairs and the door gets jammed. The door gets jammed. I am fighting for my life with this door. I'm pulling, I'm pushing, I'm lifting, I'm turning super hard. Nothing is working. This is after a day of being out of the house all day, completely out of my routine. I text the super, I send him a video. I'm like, the door is jammed. And he sends like some incoherent message back. Yes, I probably just should have kept asking the super to come fix it. But like, I'm scared after that interaction where he just reamed me out. And I feel the emotions definitely start to creep back in. I go and knock on my neighbor's door, who I haven't met yet, but just to see if like maybe they had a man in the house to give the door a good open. They don't respond. I'm in my socks in a sports bra. I go out onto the streets of New York and I try and find a man to help me. No one's helping me. So I FaceTime my best friend and I just burst into tears, like actually sobbing. I can't remember the last time I sobbed. Seriously, must have been college or something. Everything was feeling completely out of control and like none of it was my fault by any means, but I still had to solve it and had to deal with the consequences. So it was just super overwhelming and I felt super isolated. I did have people I could call. I just felt like a burden and I didn't want to bother anyone. I don't know. My mind was racing. I was in a weak point and I didn't feel like I could text anyone. I end up calling a locksmith. Locksmith comes. He is a strange man and smells like cigarettes. I bring him up to my apartment. He's like, why are you crying? And I'm like, oh, I'm just feeling really overwhelmed. There's been a lot going on. And he's like, I charge $150. I was like, okay, bro, like I don't care. Literally all he does, shoves a piece of plastic in the door and it opens. I was like, wow, great. I like go inside to grab my wallet and I'm like still not convulsing from crying, but I'm just trying to like contain myself and get this interaction over with. And he's like, why are you putting your hand right there? You are led by fear. And I was like, dude. You are catching me in the weakest of moments. Do not try and belittle me right now. And he's like, where are you from? And I'm like, Massachusetts, brother. That doesn't make me any less capable or like, it was just like such a strange interaction. And he like was like having me sell him, and I don't know. It was just a very odd interaction. All that has gone on within the past week, so I'm feeling a little emotionally unsteady, if I'm being honest. It's all to be expected with moving. Moving is one of the most stressful things you can go through, but it's definitely been stirring up some emotions within me, and my inability to rely on other people and feeling alone and feeling like I have to do it all myself and it all needs to be perfect. Plot twist. That's not gonna happen. And to add to the mix, my birthday is this upcoming week, and I'm a Leo. My birthday is a very important thing for me. So to have my life be completely unsettled the way it is and be running around like with my head chopped off, it's not feeling that same birthday goodness that I usually feel. My best friend Kaylee is coming in from out of town to stay with me, and like I feel unsettled here, so I'm sure she would feel unsettled here. So there's just lots of things in the works that the only thing I can do is wait them out. I'm certainly in the home stretch. I think once the painting is done and I can start actually unpacking, I will feel so much better, and my birthday can be a little bit smaller this year and the world isn't going to crumble. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about the positives of what I'm already experiencing living in this new apartment and getting settled. Other than the obvious stressful things that have gone on, my nervous system has felt so calm knowing that it's just me in this apartment and there will be no slamming of doors, no passive-aggressive behavior from roommates. I mentioned this in my New York City apartment moving video, if you watch that. But I'm a super sensitive soul, so I pick up on people's energy shifts like no other. Living with roommates, especially ones who are like emotionally volatile, is really challenging for me. Despite my best efforts, it's really hard for me to not be impacted by other people's energies. So to have a space of my own where I can really curate the vibe and know in my mind, in my spirit, and my heart that it is peaceful and it is happy has made me feel so good. I can already feel my productivity increasing. I'm able to focus for a lot longer. I'm just able to think clear-headed and not waste energy on worrying about my home environment. And I'm especially excited for content creation because, you know, talking to a camera, talking to a phone, doing the whole song and dance, it can be a little embarrassing knowing your roommate is on the other side of the wall hearing you. At least this has felt like a barrier for me personally. I just like know that other people are there, so it's hard for me to be myself and speak confidently, all the things I've mentioned before. So I'm excited to see what this new chapter will do for me in terms of content creation. I quickly want to talk about what has been happening for me astrologically. I use the app The Pattern to sort of see my life timing, and I have found it to be incredibly accurate. So this is what it said for me for a period of my life from January 20th, 2025 to July 22nd, 2025. So winter up until 2 weeks ago. It's called Spiritual Path. This is the time to be enthusiastic and confident about what you're doing and the direction you're headed. The collective flow of humanity is in harmony with you right now and aligned with your personal place in the cosmic order of things. During this cycle, more than any other, feel free to explore and envision all possibilities. This is not a time to doubt yourself. Take advantage of this moment because it's full of potential in supporting your intended spiritual path. If you're unsure about your direction, ask for guidance. You can trust whatever messages you receive will be meaningful. What excites you and inspires you should be the focus of your life right now and what you embrace. If you feel that you're on the right path, this is when things will go to the next level. It's to your advantage to be optimistic. Everything is in alignment with your direction. Everything is in flow. Whether it's your work, your relationships, or other interests, it's a period of renewal. Capitalize on this time period. Believe in yourself. Pay attention to your dreams and visions and be proactive about pursuing what most interests you. It's a period of incredible potential for you to reach your goals and connect to your personal path. Come on. I just wanted to share that with you guys because I feel like it is so accurate to my experience in life right now. I went through a really big friendship breakup this year, and specifically within that time, I made the decision to maintain boundaries and choose myself, and I have just been reaping the benefits of that choice and staying aligned with who I truly am. For the first time, maybe ever, I have chose my own happiness over someone else's. Of course, things like that are extremely emotionally painful and uncomfortable, but coming out on the other side, I just feel like the best version of myself, the more confident version of myself, knowing that I have my back and I choose me. I just think it's cool when things astrologically line up with life events, and then the ending of that pattern was right when I move into my new apartment and have this new chapter begin. How cool is that? All right, last intro update I want to give you guys before we get into the meat and potatoes of this episode. I went on a date, and I wish I didn't. I was approached in real life, which never happens to me. I was on my daily hot girl walk, walking around the park, doing my laps as I usually do. I think I was watching TikToks and like giggling to myself like an actual crazy person. And this man runs by and he like gets my attention and he's like, hey. Also, this man is dripping in sweat. Like his shirt is completely soaked. He says, hey, I think you're really cute. Do you want to go on a date sometime? And I was like, wow, wasn't expecting this. And I was like, sure. And he said, I wasn't expecting you to say yes. And so he's like jogging in place, pulls out his phone, like brings up the call screen, and like I type in my number and he's like, what's your name? And I'm like, Kendall. And I'm like, what's your name? And he's like, Mwah. Then he runs off into the sunset. Anyways, we coordinate this date and I went on it. If you've been keeping up, I have not been dating in a very long time. The last time I went on a date, I think, was January. And since then, I've deleted the dating apps and just have been pouring back into myself. And it has felt so good not to be trifling with men. I've sort of pledged to myself that I am never re-downloading the dating apps again. I will never be chasing a man again. If someone wants to pursue me romantically, they will. So I was like, oh, is this a sign from the universe? Like someone approaching me out on my walk? Oh, no. We were not compatible. And sir, if you're watching this, please don't watch this. But if you're watching this and you've made it this far, you're a fan. So I don't know. I just had a really hard time in the conversation. And I feel like I can talk to lots of people. But maybe it was this mindset shift that, I'm not going to perform for men or make them feel comfortable or go extremely out of my way to like soothe another person. So my people pleasing wasn't really happening too much. I don't know. We just could not find any commonality. He's definitely more of like a party bro. He's like, where do you go out? And I'm like, dude, I don't go out like that. I also have like some expectations of like things that I think men should do. Like we lived in the same neighborhood and he picked a bar closest to him and didn't walk me home. And like, there's just some courteous things you do living in a city like this to be respectful towards women. Anywho, not a match. So if there's any positives that come from dating apps, I think it's nice. You can sort of get an overview of someone and you can assume your compatibility. Like maybe if I read his profile, I'd be like, okay, we're probably not on the same wavelength, But I was proud of myself for doing it, but sort of wish I hadn't. Sort of wish I had not gone on that date. It just sort of stirred up some emotions within me that I wasn't really wanting to deal with. Anyway, haven't heard from him since, so I guess that's good. Now, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this episode, and really what this entire episode was supposed to be about. So as I mentioned earlier, my birthday is coming up, August 13th, and I am turning 27 years old. Is it official? Am I in my late 20s? That's crazy. Living it, loving it though, and I'm still hot as fuck, hot as ever. So in honor of turning 27, I want to tell you 27 things I am loving as of this year, as of recently. This is very much inspired by Brittany Broski's 100th episode of the Broski Report, where she talked about 100 things that she loves, and I love her. So I am going to do the same thing, but only 27. Number 1, men's scented things. Where are my Old Spice deodorant girls at? I love wearing men's scented things. I don't know why scents have genders at all. There's just something about men's scented things that are so much deeper and like sexier to me. I wear Old Spice Fiji deodorant, which I love. And recently I've been using this body scrub. It's by Marlowe. It's their Santal scent, a warm scent with layers of amber, spice, and citron. It smells just absolutely delectable. I just love men scented things. I don't know. Don't limit yourself to gendered scents. Number 2, sunglasses. Your eyes are most certainly your gateway to the soul. And again, as I mentioned previously, I'm very emotionally sensitive. So sunglasses are actually a great barrier to protecting yourself. Personally, they help me from absorbing other people's energies. I realize I'm sounding so woo-woo. I'm sounding so like la la la, but maybe that's how I am and that's okay. But yeah, I sort of wear them as a shield and I find them to be so useful and just like calming me down. And it's nice to not make direct eye contact with everyone all the time. Number 3, leg tattoos. If you are a tatted baddie and you have not got yourself a leg tattoo yet, it's time to get one. I got these matching chains under my knees and a dagger on my left calf. I have never felt hotter. I've never got more compliments on my tattoos than I have these chains on my knees. For a long time, I was like, ooh, scared to tattoo my legs, but I think they're so cool. They were painful though. I was shaking like a goddamn leaf during these tattoos. Number 4, fart walks. What's coming out of the back end of me when I'm on a walk is of none of my concern. Seriously, walking in general has changed my life in such a positive manner. I cannot encourage you more, tell you this more. I love to walk after meals. It helps with circulation, with digestion. When I say fart walks, I'm being serious. I am tooting away and it feels great. It just keeps the body moving. I love walking. It feels so good mentally, physically, all of it. It's the absolute best. Number 5, boundaries. Boundaries. Let's hear it for boundaries. Setting boundaries with people in your life is a very important way to keep relationships healthy. My entire life, I have been the biggest people pleaser ever, and I've really been working hard in therapy to be good at instilling my boundaries and being okay with other people not being okay. I'm not in charge of other people's emotions, other people's well-being. I can't take that in personally. I have to prioritize myself. So that has been a big lesson for me this year. So if you are a people pleaser, prioritize yourself, my angel. Number 6, forgiveness. We are human. We are destined to make mistakes. And this is actually so relevant with all this moving chaos. Nobody is perfect. Allow yourself to make mistakes. Give yourself grace and move on. Allow yourself to make mistakes, allow others to make mistakes. We're all human. Number 7, meeting your body where it's at. Sometimes your body needs rest. Sometimes you need to take a nap. Sometimes you need to just lay. Respect that. Don't push yourself too hard when you shouldn't be. When I first started doing these harder workout classes recently, I got really frustrated with myself that I was so weak. Not until maybe this month have I been able to do a push-up. But we all start somewhere. It's okay. We're all on our own journeys in different stages. It's all gonna look different, and that's totally okay. Like I said before, you don't need to be perfect. Number 8, voting. Hot people vote. You heard it here first. If you're in New York City, the mayoral election is coming up in November, and we are voting for Zohran Mamdani. Come on, babes. Let's hit the polls. Let's make change. It starts here. Number 9, not accepting weird behavior from men. Stop letting men be fucking weird. No entertaining weirdness. No enduring it for the ounce of attention. None of it. Number 10, aging. I love the wrinkles I'm getting around my eyes. I love my forehead movement. I love to see a sign that I've lived a life. Every year that I grow older, the more confident and happy I become. And what a beautiful thing to be able to show that externally. Number 11, function over fashion. A lot of you probably know me from my fashion, and with this transition I've been going through recently, I've just been really prioritizing the functionality of my clothes, of ensuring my feet don't hurt at the end of the day, ensuring I can go long distances and feel comfortable in my outfit. I want to wear things that make me feel comfortable moving my body and not the opposite. I feel much more myself when I am comfortable. Number 12, Barebells protein bars. My favorite protein bars literally ever. They are candy bars. They're like Snickers. The peanut ones are my favorite out of all the ones I've tried. 20 grams of protein. You're kidding me. You are kidding me. I love them. Number 13, you have to move your body every day. It keeps the demons away. I pinky promise. Movement does not have to be the the stereotypical exercise you think of. It can look different for everyone. It can look like dancing. It can look like stretching. It can look like walking. Choose the movement that you will do. It has changed my life to be more in tune with my body and to feel stronger, and I'd highly recommend it. 14, decentering men. I'm going to post an entire video about this, but wow, decentering men has freed me. The shackles, they're gone. Removing the voyeur of a man in my mind has freed me exponentially. Everything I do for myself, and it allows my light to really shine. It really feels good not to give a fuck about what men think of you. Number 15. Isolation as a coping mechanism. Controversial if this is good. It may make me a bad person, unsure. But recently, this has worked quite well for me, especially as a people pleaser. This has been an amazing protecting my peace tool. Nobody can hurt me or impact me if I'm alone. Again, not in every scenario is this a good option, but it has come in handy. Number 16, using spite as a motivator. Everything I do to better myself is for the people who didn't believe in me, and to prove them wrong, to prove I can do it. Feels a little bit like my own personal vengeance for anyone who has ever treated me poorly or rejected me in some sense. I'm like, fine, you will miss out on this. Long story short, believe in yourself. Number 17, Hoka Solimars. These are my favorite walking shoe. I think I'm on my third pair. They're super sleek, super comfortable. I love them. 18, forsaking the dating apps. This may be a hot take, and it is not true for every circumstance, but dating apps genuinely feel like they're for unpaid sex work. It's for men to find easy hookups with women, or at least that's been my personal experience. I deleted them 6 months ago, and I have never felt better. Resist that need for instant gratification, instant validation. Find that within yourself. Dating apps are a waste of time. That's definitely a bitter take, and I stand by it. Number 19, massages. If I could get a massage every single week, every single day, I would. I love a massage. I'm definitely a little bit touch-starved, so maybe that has something to do with it, but I just love massages. They're so relaxing to my nervous system, and I wish they weren't so expensive. Number 20, Prozac, antidepressants. I am coming up on the 2-year anniversary of being on an SSRI. It has changed my life in such a significant manner. I've talked about this before, but it has stabilized me and enabled me to live in this world in a much less stressful way. I love it. I was afraid of medication, and I wish I wasn't, because it hasn't dulled me in any way. I've had no negatives. It has just helped me so much, and I wish there wasn't such crazy stigma about it. 21, reconnecting with people from previous parts of your life. As you get older, you go in and out with friendships through different places you live through, etc. I've had a few moments of reconnecting with people from like previous parts of my life, be that like best friends, very close friends. One specifically was my bunkmate at camp, and towards the end of my 7 years at camp, we sort of had a falling out. It wasn't that big of a deal, but you're teenagers, you're moody, I don't know, things fall apart. This year we reconnected over Instagram DMs, and she just had the kindest things to say to me. I had the kindest things to say to her. We just wish each other such the best, and it was nice to like share a kind memory with one another. I think a lot of times we can convince ourselves that people have like bad blood towards us, or if something is left with a sour taste, maybe you have bad vibes towards it, but I think more likely than not, we're all wishing each other well, so that's really cool. 22, cinnamon rolls. 23, okay, 23, financially investing in yourself and your belongings. This has been a big lesson for me moving into this new apartment. But what's that saying? If you buy it cheap, you have to buy it twice. Sometimes it's better if you can hold out and buy a more expensive, higher quality item versus getting the cheapo version and having it break within a year. It's okay to spend a little bit more money on your things. You want cookware, furniture, etc. that will last. My dad was extremely frugal, so I think I took a lot of that on and felt like I couldn't spend money on myself. But give yourself, within reason, room to spend. 24. cutting off toxic people. Again, I alluded to this earlier, but even if it's uncomfortable, you need to free yourself. Stop wasting energy on people who don't deserve it. I've been getting a lot of questions recently about my glow up and the physical and mental changes I've been going through. Guess what? I took my energy back for myself. I separated myself from negative people and people who just want to spread their misery everywhere. So if you have someone in your life like that, 25 is an Amazon sports bra, which I will link below. I love the cut. It's not expensive. You don't have to pay $100 for a sports bra. I think it's like $30 or something. It's gorgeous. Mwah. 26, cat cow. Generally yoga. I've been loving yoga for maybe a year and a half now. Cat cow is a very simple pose where you just sort of arch your spine like a cat and then you move it downwards like a cow. I love it. I love rinsing out my spine. And 27, turning 27. Each year I feel more and more myself. Each year it gets better and better. I feel blessed to age. I feel blessed to get to live my life and spend time with my friends and eat yummy food, move my body, breathe, all of it. I am just happy to be alive. So everyone wish me a happy birthday. The painters are arriving in like 20 minutes and I'm going to Boston to meet my new niece. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, listening, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.